Hunting and gathering. So Pisces, I saw like those hunting vests that people wear, or even fishermen wear, those like brown vests, when I felt the energy behind your cards this week. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles with the Magician. The Knight of Pentacles is super practical, like that's the fisherman. That is the person who would be hunting potentially because it's, you're trying to put food on the table. Not as a hobby, but because as the Knight of Pentacles, you'd be putting food on the table. Now, the other things that I saw was a strong arm, so like a really like thick arm, nothing like my arm. So imagine a real thick arm, and then the harness, like I said, and then a beetle. So these are all things that tell me like there's a sense of protectiveness from the beetle. You're trying to put food on the table to protect your home, protect your family. There's a sense of practicality and a sense of survival. So hunting and gathering is the vibe for your week, whether you are maybe doing this as a hobby, or there's some sort of hobby involved, or whether it's a metaphor for the energy of your week where you're keeping things very practical, you are trying to stay strong and make sure that everything is taken care of in your house, in your life, and that's the goal, because the Magician's also a goal. Okay, on the bottom we have Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is very much, again, like practical and also protection and maintaining. It's maintenance. So your week this week could have a lot of just practical maintenance, but it's important stuff. It's stuff that you want. What's that saying? What people say, it's like if you want, the road to success is to make the things that you have to do the things that you want to do. And I think you guys are doing that this week because the things that you want to do are very practical. They're basically the things you have to do. Now, let's see if we get any more cards over here. Three of Cups, Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so we've got the Three of Cups and the Seven of Cups. You might be like missing from your social scene. Like you might be out hunting. You might be in the middle of the woods. So poof, there's the cloud. Poof, you're gone. Seven of Cups. No one can find you. You're just missing from the social network, the social scene. Three of Cups. Why? Because you're Ace of Cups. You're out doing your own thing. Now, let's pull some oracle cards and see if we can find out more information. Now, this doesn't even have to be hunting in. This could be like you working in your yard. You're out, you're gardening because the weather's finally getting nice, right? And so you're not hanging out with your friends. You're busy because you got shit to do. And again, the Knight of Pentacles is totally a gardener. But again, he would be growing vegetables. He would totally be growing vegetables, though it could be, flowers or something, but I'm getting more vegetables. Anyway, okay, we got a lot of cards. Let's take a look. Okay, we have a shitload of cards that came out. I don't think I've ever read this many cards at once, but we're gonna do it. Literally, a whole chunk came out, but in two distinct piles. So let's go with the top part here. The Seven, the Bridge, Pisces, Mercury, and the Sun here. The Seven with the Bridge and Pisces is saying like, well, we got to get going while the going's. Well, what's the saying? Get going while the going's tough, or while the going. It's like the early bird gets the worm. Like you have to take advantage of when you can do something. If the weather's nice, that's when you do it. So the bridge is an opportunity. It's the nice day, so you can go garden. Pisces is kind of like something that you don't have control over, like the weather. And the number 7 is the effort that you're putting in day to day. It's the gardening project, it's the fishing, it's the hunting, it's whatever practical thing you're doing that also kind of helps create more stability and also adds to the maintenance in your life or the abundance for your life. And then Mercury and the Sun, that's a lot of activity too. It's like, oh, it's nice though, I gotta get busy. This is getting busy when the opportunity allows for it. Okay, I'm gonna move these cards out of the way. Let's look at this next cluster. So we've got the Rabbit, the Moon, and then Uranus. There is a sense that a little bit of like saving up for a rainy day or having stores for a rainy day, doing this in case of a rainy day. That's the sense here, because there's a sense that we're not sure we can rely on, well, let's say the structures of society, other people, or your town. You can't rely on society to take care of you. And so you're trying to take a practical aspect. You could be growing vegetables in case of a food shortage. You could be, going hunting and stocking up your freezer with meat in case of a food shortage. So this is sort of like coming from the Rabbit with the Moon and Uranus is coming from a position of, well, in case of something crazy happening. In case of something crazy happening that has to do with the outside world that, again, you don't have control over, right? And then the last three cards, the Zero, the Manticore, and the Mask. Actually, the Zero and the Manticore is still that other energy. The Zero and the Manticore is something random happening that is potentially bad, like that is frustrating, like a food shortage. Would be frustrating to not have food. If you had a vegetable garden, you'd have that as a backup. And then the Mask is talking about something very tangible, very obvious, like food, like maybe even like this is just the ability to grow food, like you're building yourself a planter or a greenhouse or something. These are all just examples of something practical. It doesn't have to be any of these, so apply it how it makes sense for you in your life. Okay, let's pull some advice and see if there's any advice for you guys on this practical endeavor, this goal, all these things. Any advice here for my Pisces? Any advice, please? Oh, no, not yet. I thought those were going to come out. Let's give it a solid... Okay, there we go. The Empress. And then we've got the Emperor with the Hermit. Wow. So, wow. This does... Again, it reminds me of working in the yard because the Empress is like flowers. It would be like growing flowers. But there is a sense of really getting to see the fruits of your labor. If you grow a vegetable garden, you get to see the vegetables grow. It would be very much a visible thing, and that's the Empress. You get to see the fruits of your labor. The Emperor, you get to, basically your successes are very tangible because of the way you're going about them. It's like, it's very practical when you go hunting. You have literally a ton of meat to show for your efforts, and very tangible, very visible. And I think this is just telling me it's a good idea. Whatever it is you're starting on, or this practical endeavor that you're starting on that has to do with maybe the right timing, weather, food, all that, any of that stuff, it is a good idea, and it's going to either it's going to make you look good, it's going to make you feel good, and you're going to like the way it looks to you, these two cards, when it's done or as you're going about it. The Emperor, though, there's still a lot of kinks to be worked out. Maybe there's just a lot of research that needs to happen, or details. This is potentially detailed work. If you're fishing, then you got to research bait, you got to research the fishing rod, you got to research the fishing line. And so there is still some research. There is still some fine-tuning. That's the Hermit. There's still some fine-tuning that needs to be had in this project, hobby, or endeavor that you guys are taking up on. So take a look at the details. Take a look at the details, and because there's still some kinks to work out. Let's see if we get anything out of you. Any other advice here for us? We have the Queen. The Queen is having control over, well, your life, your resources, and potentially any situation that's outside of your control, right? That's the Queen. So, for example, a circumstance happens where the food shortage. So I'm going to keep going back to that example because there's a food shortage, and while everybody else has no control, you have control because you have the whatever, let's say it was the vegetable garden, right? So it gives you a sense of better control over things, your life, or things that might happen in the future, because on the bottom we have the universal hexagram, which is a very futuristic card. It gives you control over what can happen to you. So yeah, this is a great idea. This is a good idea, and you're really gonna like how it comes out. It's really going to give you more control over your life, more stability, and go for it, basically. All right, Pisces, that's your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being here. If you did like the video, press the like button for me, follow, subscribe. I would love it if you guys would follow my channel. And also check out Patreon if you want to support what I do. Links for that are below. I've got more videos there, so check that out. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.